And then let me share a screen with you so that you feel like you're not just looking at me while I'm working. Oh, there we go. Share. There we go. Okay. Well, this is just the settling down bit. You know, if you were somewhere and it was a live session, you were there in person, everybody would be grabbing their seats and hanging their coats up and all that sort of thing. But right, we go. We got the flurry done. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes, thanks.
Yes, yeah.
And can everybody see the slide that says just give me 2 seconds?
Yes.
Good. Okay, so I need to just bring this. Right, I think I'm good. Live on the internet, you can see my slides and you can hear me. Right, let's go. So thank you everybody for being here. If this is your first time ever being to one of these or anything like it on the internet, welcome. Hopefully it will be interesting. My God, who knows? You never know if you're being interesting or not, do you? And yeah, thank you for taking the time out of your evening to do this. If you've got your dinner on your lap with you, that's absolutely fine. If you've got a cup of tea with you, that's also absolutely fine. You'll be in good company. And I hope you won't mind me having a cup of tea. And also, I just want to say at the start, I hope I'm delivering this and I hope it's really valuable. I hope it's interesting. I hope you take something away from it. At the end, I am going to talk about my business and the service that I run, but there is by no means any pressure at all to, buy it, say yes, what have you. This, I hope in itself will just be useful and interesting. And also it's an opportunity for you to ask me any questions at the end. Or even during, if something comes up during you want to share. I'm going to be talking about some experiences. So if anyone has a similar experience and you want to just chip in and say, oh yeah, me too, then please go ahead and do that. There is also something called a chat box in Zoom, which you may or may not have used before. Please do ask a question in there. I will try and keep an eye on it and answer anything that comes up. Okay, just letting one more person in, and then I think we'll be good to go. Again, thank you all for showing up. Let me get to the slides. So there we go. Just get myself on track. So thank you all for being here and welcome along. This is it's not the first time I've done this, but it is the first time with so many people, which is really exciting. And I keep saying, and I will move on, I hope you find something useful and you get something from this. And please do try and interrupt me and ask any questions along the way. Hang on, let me move on a slide. There we go. So there we go. The aging myth, how to stay strong, mobile and pain-free without relying on motivation alone. That's what hopefully has drawn you here and what you're interested in. And I guess just to speak about it broadly initially is that exercise is being told to us that it's important, it's going to help us live longer, age better, recover from injuries, look after illnesses, all that kind of thing. And it is important, but we have questions, we might have concerns, and hopefully this is going to help alleviate that and answer some of those questions for you. Age in this context, sometimes it's a bit taboo, isn't it, to talk about age, but hopefully in this scenario this evening, age is just a number, and we're going to avoid saying things like I'm too old to wear that, or you can't teach an old dog new tricks, or things are all downhill from here on in. Hopefully we're going to just dispel some of those. And I know it's widely said that often we feel younger in our minds than we do in our bodies. So we're going to stick with our minds and try and keep our bodies coming with us. So the first myth, am I talking too quickly?
No.
Nope.
Oh, why won't you click along? God, for a minute there, I thought technology was failing me. So the first myth, exercise only works if it's intense and probably painful as a result. And I'm here to say that it really doesn't have to be like that, and it really shouldn't be like that. And any professional physio, exercise specialist like me, none of us want exercise to be any more painful or make your situation worse. But I understand, and this is what I hear people say, is that they find that they get to a point where they're like, okay, right, I am going to try exercise. They found a class, whatever it might be, a circuits class, a Zumba. It might even be a sport like a walking football or a walking netball or something. And they go along to their first session full of enthusiasm, and they've got the voice in their head that says, no pain, no gain. They're listening to the physio, like I've got to do exercise anyway and make this happen. And often what happens actually is that person really goes for it, ignores any sort of, I should have framed this at the start, any sort of joint pain issues that they might be experiencing, or anything if they wouldn't normally have joint pain, but they've suddenly experiencing it, and they might push through it thinking, no pain again, I've just got to get on with this and it will be good for me afterwards. And actually what happens after that first session is that they experience something called DOMS, which is DOMS, which stands for delayed onset muscle soreness, which is something we've all experienced in our lives at some point. If ever you've done a serious amount of gardening all in one day, or if ever you've done a charity walk or a charity run and everything aches the next day, that's essentially what DOMS is. But if you've already got an underlying health condition of some kind, maybe some kind of osteoarthritis, doing that first session, working really hard, pushing through pain at a joint potentially, or even if someone's got, COPD issues, that you're still putting your body under a strain that it sort of needs but doesn't need. And then the next day, your joint may be inflamed, your normal symptoms may be worse, and then you've got all this DOMS and this aching, and it just feels deathly uncomfortable, and you don't want to go back. Or it might not happen after one session. It might be cumulative. Someone may have enthusiasm for a week or 2 weeks, and then at some point that enthusiasm wanes, and it's like, do you know what? I can't do this anymore. It's too hard. It's making me too uncomfortable. It feels like it's making things worse. And then you stop. And then somewhere along the line, either friends or family or medical advice, you find yourself thinking, okay, look, well, that didn't work for me last time, so I'm going to try this instead. And that same pattern can happen a few times, to the point sometimes where someone has come to me and they're just like, Rachel, I'm just not sure. I've really hurt myself before. I really don't want to make this worse. And you can really understand why we're not describing that experience for someone. Does anyone relate to that? Like, feel free to put a hand up. God, let me check. Did I see any hands, or did I miss them go up? Maybe I missed them. No, okay. Oh yeah, we've got one there. Okay. So yeah, that can be something that happens. So what do we do instead? I've probably exhausted the explanation of that, and you probably do know what I mean. But so what we can do instead, and this seems like backwards advice, but it's actually the best thing that you can do for yourself, is actually work to about 60 to 70% of what you perceive your maximum effort to be. So when you turn up to a class, it's okay not to give it your absolute best. It's okay not to try your absolute hardest or to try and squat as deeply as everyone else or lean into that stretch as far as everyone else. Just do what feels comfortable, especially when you're starting something new. Because then you can allow your body to adapt afterwards. You can, if you do have symptoms, if there is an osteoarthritis or any sort of arthritis, in fact, or any condition really, but I've got a lot of experience with joint pain issues. You just allow your body to adapt. Like, for example, in my personal life, I haven't run for 5 years because, well, various reasons really, and not because I can't be bothered. It was because I had sinus issues. I had a sinus operation for a while. Before the sinus operation, I couldn't breathe very well. I had lots of fatigue. And so for me, doing any sort of cardio activity just wasn't any good for me because it just left me really depleted. I was still able to work with weights. That was less intense for my heart and lungs, but it just meant that now that I'm going back to it because I feel like my health has improved and my asthma's under control and I can breathe, and which is important. I can go out for a run. But that first one I went out for, wildly humbling. I thought I'd pared it back and made it easy for myself, but Christ, you can lose some ability. But yeah, it's just about keeping it very much within yourself so that it's a nice enough experience that you're prepared to go again. The types of exercise, I often get asked, what should we be doing? And there are some government guidelines. I think this might be note down because this is something that everyone should be aiming for. Just bear in mind that you're allowed to enjoy it. It doesn't have to be intense and painful. You can keep it relatively easy and build yourself up. Is to do 150 minutes of cardio activity, so something that's making you red in the face, breathe heavy, and that can look different to different people, but so long as your experience is that you're red in the face and you're breathing heavy, that's enough for you. That's entirely enough. You want 150 minutes of that, and 75 minutes of that, they're saying, should be more intense than the rest. 2 strength sessions a week, which means working with weights, and 1 flexibility session per week, so that we keep our joints mobile and moving as much as they can. There'll be a plethora of differences on here. Someone will have a really a tight shoulder. They might refer to it as a frozen shoulder. Someone will have a knee issue. Someone will have a hip. Lots of people have back issues. We're all different. But the principles of working 60 to 70% of your perceived maximum at whatever activity you choose is what's really important, and keeping that activity, not making that activity too intense while you're there. Again, that means you will go back to it as well. Let me move on to myth number 2. So, motivation is fickle. Motivation does come and go. And what keeps people sticking to something is understanding their why and what they're getting out of it. That's what's important. But if I just give you a definition, so you feel like you've learned something, the definition of motivation is a response to a need. And for me, that definition means the greater the need, the higher the response. So if we take a toothache, for instance, the need on that, when you've got toothache, is really painful. Or if you've got a broken limb and the bone sticking out, that is, you've got a need there, and the response to that is big. You're going to get yourself in that dental surgery, even if you have to go private, and you're almost willing to spend whatever it is they say just to get yourself out of pain, because the need is that great. The trouble with joint pain or aging, as you may be finding, is that the need isn't actually that great to begin with. Things get a bit stiffer or a bit sore, you tire a bit quicker. So sort of initially people might not go out as much, or go for a shorter walk, or only get 2 jobs done in a day rather than 3 or 4 or 5. And slowly over time, we are just able to accommodate and make life a little bit easy for ourselves. And that's not any judgment, that's human behavior. We just adapt so that things aren't aren't uncomfortable. But then at some point where we think, God, actually, my need now is great, because I can't take the dog out for a walk, or I am missing out on days out with my friends. And then sometimes at that point it can feel like, oh, damn it, I've left it too late. What am I going to do? How can I possibly fix this? And that's where it's really important to look at your motivation not your motivation, look at your why. So to know what it is that you want to get out of exercise. And that's not just because the newspapers are telling me, or the news headlines are saying that we must be moving, or if you have had an injury, or you're seeing a physio at the moment about something, and they'll be saying, oh, you need to do your exercises. That's extrinsic motivation. We're being told to do that. And at some point, that will come and go. When the need is great, like when you have physio treatment and they give you the exercise initially, most people, lots of people will diligently do them for like the first week, 2 weeks. And then as the pain eases off, we start to do them less and less. And your physio has probably said, keep doing them. You must keep doing them. I'm hoping this is a familiar story. It's one that I hear and I've experienced myself. So really what we want to know is from ourselves is why am I doing this? What am I getting out of it? Why should I still be doing this? And it's different for different people. It might be like, I really miss going for walks with my friends. I used to really enjoy being outdoors, and now I can't do that. And so what do I need to get back? What do I need if I want to go out for a walk with my friends? What is it that I need to do? And you might be already thinking and realizing, actually, well, if I make exercise a part of my life, what is it that I need to do? What do I need to know? Rachel said that I need to work 50 to 70% of my perceived max effort. What does that look like? What does that mean? Who can help me? Or what do I need to read? What do I need to understand? Or what are the exercise options in my town? How many gyms are there? Who are the local trainers? Who's running outdoor boot camps? Whatever feels relevant, whatever you need to know in order to help you take the next steps, that's what you need to find out. And especially, I've said about the logistics of it, but the why. It's like, I want to go out for a walk with my friends. Is that it? Is that really? Is there anything else? You might say to someone, you might get a friend to ask you, what does that mean to you? Why is that important? And you might go beyond that. It might be, do you know what? Actually, I've really always had this dream that I want to walk the Great Wall of China, or I want to do one of those. I can't remember what they're called. The treks in Spain. Pilgrimage. You might have. I've always wanted to do a pilgrimage. I don't know what it might have been. You might have secretly had a passion to skydive. I don't know. But what does it mean to you? Sometimes people say to me, do you know what? I witnessed my mum being really immobile before she passed away, and I really don't want that for myself. And that's a really sensitive thing for me to say, but it is something that people genuinely think. So, but it's those kinds of things that are going to help you say, this is what I need to find out. This is what I need to do. This is why it's important to me. And on the days when it's raining or you're running late and you really can't be, excuse my language, asked, those things, that reason why, will help you to stick to it. Sorry, I have no idea of the time. Okay, I will need to not ramble on for too long. I appreciate your patience in listening to me, and I hope this is still proving useful. So the third myth then, it's not, this quote is not actually very clear. I've written, I'm not losing weight or lifting heavy, I'm not making progress. And then I said, the reality, strength isn't about how much you weigh, it's about what your body can do. And small wins every day add up to huge changes in mobility, confidence, and long-term health. So when I say I'm not losing weight or I'm not lifting heavy enough, I'm not making progress, as humans, we get really stuck. It's really easy for us to set an arbitrary goal. People often, if people are runners, they'll say to me, oh yeah, I really, or if they're not runners actually, and they'll say, oh, well, you know, everyone can run 5K in half an hour. And if you're not doing it in less than half an hour, then there's no point, you know, you're not good enough. And that's when we really focus on the outcome itself and whether we make that or not. And we don't allow any wiggle room for anything to go wrong or for anything to go right and be better. It often shows up in the diet world, actually, of people being like, right, I'm going to start my diet on Monday. Everything starts on Monday. And then they stick to it like glue for a couple of days. And at some point, they'll eat one thing that was the wrong thing. And then you tend to go, excuse my language. You go, fuck it. And then you think, oh, and then you almost sabotage it because then you eat more than you would have done, or you give up, or you berate yourself. And actually in exercise, what we need to think about is, okay, well, do you know what? I've never been to a gym before, but I've signed myself up and I've gone once a week for the last 3 weeks. For me, that's progress. For me, that's winning. And I've watched this video on YouTube about how to squat. And next time I go in the gym, I'm going to heed that advice and see how it goes for me. It's really important to acknowledge the journey, recognize the journey. And this is where I say to clients of mine or people that I know, like, write down what you've done, write down how many hills you climbed, or how long it took you to do your normal loop of a walk, or how many squats you did in the gym, or what weight you're using now. And then it's not about criticizing that individual session, but it gives you information so that when you look back 3 months later, you're like, oh, do you know what? I can stand up better than I could before. My balance has actually improved. One story of a girl I worked with who worked with her for 12 weeks, and she had very, very severe version of hypermobility. I think they call it ERS. It's very severe. And she was at a point where at the end of her working day, she was so tired, the pain was so bad that and all-consuming, that she couldn't get herself up to bed. So her boyfriend was carrying her up to bed. I don't know. We could have been 6 weeks into the program, and she came up to me and she said, Rachel, I took myself off to bed. And honest to God, she just showed up. She didn't necessarily push herself or work really hard. And we just celebrated the little wins along the way, including that one. And that is great for motivation and for feeling like we can stick with things. So that's kind of me dispelling the 3 myths, and the 3 things that I would say to you to take away, or that I feel like you might take away, is that when you're looking for exercise, pick something you like. Don't try too hard on your first session. Let it be easy and build up after that. Second thing is to, whatever you feel like you need to know, whatever information, how curious, whatever classes there are available to you, or try lots of, there are loads of instructors. Try different ones, see which ones work for you, but ask for what you need. Don't be afraid to do that. And then the last one, I guess, is to have patience. Allow yourself to record what is happening. Show up, commit to yourself, and let yourself celebrate the little things that you achieve, because that's really what's wildly important. So I'm aware of the time, so I'm just going to keep going, and I'll then, if we've got questions at the end, we can go with it. So how do you might be asking yourself, how do I make that happen for me? And what I've been sharing with you, and hopefully what you've seen today, is that there are so many myths. I mean, I've covered 3 of them, but there's probably more as well about aging and movement that hold people back. And maybe deep down you've known for a while that you want to move more and feel stronger and stay independent, but life keeps getting in the way. I mean, I haven't had a chance to ask any of you where you're at, but that's exactly why I created this online class called Hit and Chat. It's not just a class, it's my community and system to help people like yourself stay consistent, strong and mobile in a simple and supportive way. One of the biggest challenges, as we've said, people face is motivation. It's easy to have the best of intentions, but when the moment comes to roll out the mat or get dressed for the gym, it can feel like climbing a mountain. And it's not your fault. As we've talked about, some of these things are just very human behavior. Most fitness advice relies too much on willpower and discipline, which naturally fade when life gets busy or overwhelming. And Hit and Chat, I hope, solves this differently. It is a system built around making exercise simple, achievable, and enjoyable. We keep sessions short and manageable, and we focus on movements that build real-world strength and confidence, not exhaustion. We meet live every week as a community, which means that you're never doing this alone. And over time, showing up becomes a highlight of your week, something you look forward to and not something you have to push yourself to do. Hit and Chat is not just another workout. As you see from these 2 lovely ladies in the picture, I have no idea who they are, but it builds a sense of community where people want to share experiences and be together. It's a complete support system for feeling stronger, moving better, and living life more fully. So imagine this. It's a Wednesday evening, you're at home, you do not have to drive anywhere, you do not have to find a parking space, you haven't had to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning to book onto a class. You roll out your mat, click a button, and there we all are, a small welcoming group ready to move and support each other. We start with a simple joint-friendly workout, no pressure, and you move your body in ways that feel good, building strength, mobility, and confidence with every small movement. Everything is designed to fit real life, not gym life. And then afterwards, you don't need to just shut your laptop and go on with making dinner. I know normally in gym classes, like people arrive, don't really talk to each other and leave, say goodbye, and that's about it. We stay for a few minutes, checking in, we share how we're feeling, celebrate our wins with each other, and keep each other motivated for the week ahead. It is a space where you are seen, supported, and never judged. Over time, this half-an-hour workout and 10-minute chat becomes a rhythm you look forward to. It becomes a highlight of your week, your time to reconnect with your body, rebuild your confidence, and recharge your energy. So this experience is perfect if you want to feel stronger and more mobile every day. If you want to stay independent and active as you age. If you want a safe, welcoming space to move without fear or injury or judgment. And you want a simple, realistic way to stay consistent, even when life is busy, because let's face it, it can be. When you join Hit and Chat, you get a 30-minute live workout each week, shared with your Hit and Chat family, focused on building real strength, balance, and resilience. Weekly talks and discussions to boost your mindset, strengthen your motivation, and give you practical tools for staying strong, mobile, and active for life. Access to recorded sessions. So I always send around the recordings so you can catch up or repeat a session if you so want to, or if you've missed it. 4 weekly goal setting and intention review sessions, helping you stay focused, keeping us connected to our why, tracking your progress, and keep moving towards better strength, mobility, and independence. Then we have a progress tracking challenge, like our balance challenge. We stand on one leg and see how long we can hold it for at the beginning and try it at the end. They help you see and celebrate your real improvements in your everyday life, and a close-knit community that lifts you up and keeps you consistent when life gets busy. Hit and Chat is not just another workout. It is a complete support system and community built to make consistency simple, achievable, and enjoyable. You train alongside people just like you in short bite-sized sessions that fit real life. No forcing yourself to find motivation, just steady, smart progress with the support of a group that really lifts you up. Everything is designed for real longevity, stronger bodies and better movement, a life where you stay active, independent and confident for longer. Here we go. The investment to join Hit and Chat is just £35 a month. So for less than a price of a single personal training session, you get a full month of live coaching, community support, accountability, and all the tools you need to stay active, strong, and independent for life. The next Hit and Chat cycle does start this coming Wednesday, and the doors are now open, but they are closing on Sunday night. I'm closing enrollment so that on Sunday I can make sure everyone is set up and onboarded and ready to go by the time Wednesday comes around. There is no time like the present. The sooner you get started, the sooner you will start feeling stronger, more mobile, and more confident in your body. Next week, we will kick off with a special induction session where you'll get to meet each other, meet the group, and we'll set our intentions and our goals together, and then follow it up with 8 weeks of great times together, working towards what we want. So joining is simple. I am just going to drop a link in the chat box, which I hope you'll be able to find, and I hope I will be able to find. Here we go. Oh, there might be some questions actually. Oh, someone said it's not for them. That's okay. So there we go. There's the link in the chat box now. That's the link there. So you can click that link now, as long as you can find it, and it will take you straight to the sign up page where you can secure your spot in just a few minutes. Once you're in, I will send you everything you need to know for the induction call and basically get you going. So I'm almost there. If you are ready to move more freely, feel stronger, and build a future where you feel confident, active, independent, Chat is here for you. Click the link in the chat box, and I cannot wait to welcome you in if that's what you want. And I guess now is the time where I say, has anyone got any questions? So
yes, please.
Yeah, of course. So let me stop sharing.
So my question is that I go on holiday next Wednesday.
Okay.
Until the 28th of September. So I would rather commit after I came back.
Yes.
I know, you may prefer me to do it beforehand, but, everything's going to be mad before I go away.
Yeah, you may as well focus on, the packing and having a nice time. And obviously it's great off the back of something like this. You have the momentum and you buy it and you go and you stick with it. But if that's not the right time, then you can absolutely do it when you come back. It wouldn't be a problem at all. I would probably still do an induction session with you, and we could arrange that. But you can do it after.
For me, it's not the right thing to commit before I come back from holiday, and sort of we've got a funeral when we come back, and things like that. So I think just I hope I don't drop out. I don't intend to drop out. But I think a dose of reality, at that point in time is better, for continuing.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, there's an email going out off the back of this. So if you keep hold of that one, and there'll probably be another one after that as well. And then the link is in there. And so you can just save it and store it up for when you...
So it's the same reference. Yes, the same email.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. That's good. Yeah.
Good. Any other questions? I don't mind there being a bit of a pause. If anyone, shall I take everyone off of silent? If you have a question, you might need to unmute yourself.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah, well done. Or you may not have a question and you're just listening in to see if I say anything else. No, I can't seem to unmute everybody in one go.
Could you please send the link by email as well?
Oh, sorry. I think that was Teddy. What was the question? Sorry.
Could you please send the link by email?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely will.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Any questions about about any of it really? Anything I said or anything anyone's dealing with at the moment? Or I mean, hopefully it seems like I've answered enough questions about what hit and chat is and said enough about that, so that's good. I'll just give it another minute. Just give it another minute in case someone else cheaps up, which you are more than welcome to do. I can invite people to unmute. You don't have to accept it. I'm just clicking it now. How do I get to everyone?
I'll mute, and then that gives it freer for you.
Thank you. There we go. So I think I've asked everyone. So if there is any questions, please ask. Please interrupt me. I won't be offended. And otherwise, I think that's probably it.
Thank you very much, Rachel.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you for giving me half an hour of your Thursday evening.
Yes. Thank you. Yes.
Thank
very
you.
clear.
All right then. Pleasure. Take care, everyone.